Okay, so now that we've got the frame put together, we're going to go ahead and put the fencing on. I'd advise you should probably have some sort of gloves. You're going to need a hammer and of course the staple gun. Having a helper would definitely be beneficial because this isn't always so easy, especially trying to keep this thing straight. It's not always easy. Definitely going to need your 10 snips and your hammer for this. Kind of helpful to try to straighten it out just a little bit too. You know, like on this one, I've kind of got a little bit of excess. I want that excess on the top rather than on the bottom, if I can help it. Also say this, I'm using 10mm long staples, and that's because that's about what all my staple gun can really do. If yours can do a little bit longer, I would suggest 14. You just want to go every few inches. Don't go too far without getting it somewhat straight down. Like I said, I notice with this staple gun, if it isn't exactly flat and parallel, it just doesn't drive them in very well. As far as like any excess right here, I'm just going to roll it right over. It's not, you know, that's what I did on the other one. If it's a lot of excess, I'd cut it off. I'm not going to show everything. I'm just going to show you this one side, and then I'm going to show you how I basically transition this thing. And then I also show you any other weird things that I can't think of right now that I happen to come across. But this is really easy to bend, so as you can see, I'm just kind of doing that. A little easier if this was working with me a little bit better. Alright, that's a little better. And then I also will take my hammer and I will literally just kind of and then I'm just basically wanting to, so I'm basically just trying to square the end up a little bit, so just start further down and then work up. And then when you flip over, it's already got a crease right there, it'll be a little easier to staple down. After that, I pretty much just go around and try to get these in a little bit better. And I'll do the rest off camera. And before anyone asks me why or what this weird hammer is, it's a has a point on it. That's actually a nail set, and there's a whole weight system on it. This is a Japanese bolt builder's hammer. That's what it is. So okay, after you do that and you kind of start that with the bending there, this is easy because we're just going to flip it over. Just be mindful because this thing is sharp, and I've got shorts on, but it can still cut you because you're like I have shorts on and stuff. So just flip it over, and I want to try to bend some of this out to make it a little easier for me. Because the last time I didn't do this and it didn't work quite as well. I just kind of remember which which side is bottom here. So, and the reason why we want to start with that one so we get any excess hangover at the top. First thing we're going to do is try to just get this to smash down a little bit more. I just want to show you this because once you do the first part and then, you know, transition to the second side, they're all the same except for this side that has to be cut, and I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so that's the transition on from side to side. And then, like I said, I always try to go down the bottom and then down, boom, just like that. So, all right, once you get to the last side, or actually on the third side, before you do the last part of the third side, I didn't do all the way down because I need to cut this. This is where your tin snips are going to come in. By the way, these are straight cutting tin snips. If you're right-handed or left-handed, you have left or right-handed versions. It may make it easier or harder depending on what's going on. But I'm just going to basically go to the top of that bar. I'm going to cut down this way and then flip it over, and well, I'm going to cut down this way and then secure this side and then flip it over. But I didn't want to secure it before I got this. So yes, let's do this. And try to get as clean as you can. It's not as easy as you might think. Mainly because of that right there. I try not to go past where you're aiming for. Let's go ahead and cut that one so I know where to stop. I like to try to get it as close as possible so there's not these little sharp nibs on it. Is that good enough? Yeah, that'll work. Alright, so now that that's cut, I'll go ahead and continue to stitch this up. That works for me. So we end up here. Right here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this whole side off to make it just a wee bit easier. Before I do that, I just kind of want to figure out where. Sorry about the neighbors' dogs and the birds and the airplanes and whatever. It's probably gone up 20 degrees since I've been recording this. There we go. That's all done. And now we can finish up. Can't remember if I already mentioned this or not, but one of the other things besides this half-inch mesh, you're going to need quarter-inch mesh to make a sieve. Not everybody's going to want to sieve their stuff, but if you're doing any, like if you're potting any plants or anything, it makes really good potting soil if you just mix it with some peat moss. And I like to use plant tone as the fertilizer. It's organic. A little bit of sand. It's a perlite. Makes a good mix. At least that's what I use in my greenhouse. Works great. So I've got a little bit sticking out right there, and the only thing I do is when I have a little bit of that is I use my hammer and I just kind of angle it down, try to get those little points off there, and so they don't get on your clothes or skin or whatever. And the same thing with the, same thing with the top here. There's a little bit of like a lip of it. You can leave it like that, or like I just bend them down. All right, it's done. Not too shabby. It's nice and firm. The next thing that I want to do is I gotta set up my sawhorses, and we've got to cut a couple pieces for the sieve, and I want to show you how to design your sieve. It's to fit your wheelbarrow. So, all right, but I'm gonna have to take a break until it cools off later tonight because I am sweating like a pig. So, yeah, see you in a bit.